Like a pretty ordinary game. I think at half-time he might have had 3 possessions, was it, at half-time? So, look, full credit to him. I mean, we know he will do this. He's just such a champion player, such an honest player, works so hard, and you just love to see him kick this goal.
And I think Stevie J actually wasn't too disappointed to give that one away.
In his milestone game, the last of the Fab Four, the Paul McCartney of his time, drives it through, and he gets himself a consolation prize.
And he looks like he's absolutely exhausted out in his feet, but it's great to see his teammates get across to him.
It's been a great career, and let's wind the clock back. Gabba, round 1, 1998 against the Western Bulldogs, his AFL debut. First disposal, running back with the flight, and it's been that kind of career ever since.
Would he like to take that hairdo back? As we all would. I mean, I'm not.
There was a bit of the Beatles about that, actually.
What was that? Can you ask him when you see him?
It was some sort of hat. Look.
Brisbane Lions are finishing strongly here. They could even end up winning the quarter. 51 points was the margin at three-quarter time, and Jonathan Brown gets a chance to add his name to the goal sheet.
There's a bit of a chuckle with Stevie Johnson, just giving you a bit of feedback. There's a 50-metre penalty, and that's from Stevie Johnson as well.
So
they will too close.
They will win this quarter, the Brisbane Lions. And the way we're travelling, they might avoid the lowest ever score here at the Gabba.
And he was just in that protected zone, Stevie Johnson, and he's getting plenty of feedback from his old, probably Geelong Falcons teammates.
5-8-38 was the lowest ever score. They've now got 4 goals, but it's 4 goals, 15-33. 39, I should say. Liam Pickering downstairs.
Well, we looked at Simon Black's first game. Alistair Lynch also playing in that game. I couldn't help but notice that nice do you were rolling with there, Lynchy. And not only that, look at the duds. A fraction snug, aren't they, Alistair? Please.
Very nice. I think I just cut the mullet off, I think, and yeah, the strides were a little tight, so not great. Some vintage vision there. And there's one, actually, Jonathan Brown's one that slipped through the Geelong net. I mean, he did sign with the Brisbane Lions under the father-son rule, but I think they thought he was a bit slow.
Geelong Falcon, of course. So many Geelong players have been.
The interesting thing is too, Dwayne, 4-15, so 19 scoring shots to 18 in favour of Brisbane Lions, and the inside 50s, 48 to the Brisbane Lions and 45 to Geelong.
And we talk about the recipe for success, those type of things. Contested possessions are back in favour of the Lions, 180 to 155.
They're full of running right now. Rich on the left, can't bend it enough. Another behind, but they're doing all the attacking.
Look, and that's a pleasing last quarter for Michael Voss, because they have had effort. They were very unlucky early, and it's a really hard game to dissect, this one, because there's mixed emotions at the moment for a coach that's down by, you know, a fair margin. But he'll look at the tape on Monday, and there will be some good signs when he looks at it.
Simon Black and the Scarlet kick in. Wants to go short, play on, Rich. Tumble dive, Golby to Crisp.
And there'll be some obvious things like letting the players get out the back that you can actually go through with the defensive half players. Rosie, is it a concern? I just mentioned those contested possessions count heavily in favour of the Lions. That's 5 games in a row for Geelong. Is that a concern?
Yeah, it is. It's a massive concern, you know, because we know in this competition, you know, the better teams, you're not going to beat the better teams with that contested ball count. So I'm certain it's something that's got to be very concerned about, and we'll want to continue to reinforce that with vision, showing players what they're not doing right and working on it during the week.
Rare mistake from Bartel. Chris Scott can't get this one over quick enough. To half forward, Cornelius have a crack from there. Hits the square. Jonathan Brown's down there. Throws Lonergan away. And touched through. Good Brisbane Lion flavour to the Geelong coaching panel. Chris Scott, of course, 215 games and 2 premierships. Nigel Lappin down there. Blake Caracella as well. Part of the Geelong coaching panel. There they are.
Troy Selwood's doing some work down there and playing in the VFL side.
It's a fantastic coaching crew that they've assembled. We talked about their run of success, one of the all-time great teams, and boy, they win it again this year. They'll have claims to definitely being the greatest team of all. Shoveled out, free kick's been found, and it's going to go to Stringer.
Al mentioned some of those players in the premiership. If you had to start a franchise, Lappin, Black, Voss, Ackermanis, who would you take?
Give us a minute.
Jonathan Brown.
Yeah,
I'm not taking Brownie.
You'd go key position.
Yeah. No, I'm not asking you about Brownie.
So he's an automatic, is he?
Can I take second pick? Look, it'd be hard to go past Voss, but you wouldn't care. You take any one of those players, Voss, Lappin, Black. I mean, they're superstars. I mean, obviously we know the qualities of Ackermanis as well. It's hard to split those guys, but you'd find it hard not to pick Voss first up. But you'd be disappointed if you didn't get Black or Lappin.
Duncan jumped on.
This is probably a harder question. Who would Lee Matthews say? Do you know, if you've asked him, who would he take?
No, I'm not sure, but probably the same type of answer, I'd imagine.
Probably wouldn't go for Acker first.
Well, just a little bit much during the week, I think, with Acker. But I mean, Acker, he assisted in winning plenty of games. But yeah, maybe the Monday to Friday stuff, it sort of grade Lee up a little bit over the years.
Back into play. Johnson down to Simon Black. Another inside 50. Taylor bangs it to the outer side. Hawkins jumps. Maybe one last chance of a cat score. It's muddy in the middle now. A lot of players don't see mud anymore. Smeds came on as the sub and hasn't had the share in a lot. Taylor Hunt. Hawkins. His pants are down. Playing with his dacks down. A little bit of Eddie Betts.
He needs a belt.
He's got a massive set of strides too, Pickers, hasn't he?
Well, I think those long ones are all well and good until they get a bit wet.
Well, you think you'd go team colours too, wouldn't you, with the jocks? Podsiadly can't take the mark, and he gets one for too high.
I'll tell you what with Simon Black, though, Al, has you seen anyone as clean around the stoppages? I mean, his cleanness and his takes and his ability to get the ball out is probably as good as anyone that I've seen or coached against, certainly.
Absolutely, you're right. He doesn't fumble and he rarely loses his feet.
Podsiadly into the man on coming. Slaps it down to Smeds. I need to rush this through in a hurry. Got a couple of seconds to do it.
And what I mean by rarely loses his feet is he doesn't get knocked off the ball easily. He goes to the ground, obviously, in conditions like this, but stays on his feet so well.
It's been a bizarre night. Seen the ridiculous. Seen some circus acts in these kind of conditions. It was a horror show early for the Brisbane Lions, a nightmare for them in many respects. But class won out in the end. The Cats by 38 points, 12-7, 79 to 4-17, 41.